Hey y'all, welcome into the Midmo Music Show Season 2, Episode 13. I'm your host, Noah Klein. Today we've got River Ghost Revue. They're going to tell me how they met and some of their favorite shows to play right here in mid-Missouri.
Denim jacket, not enough to fight the cold. Put on your Buddy Holly glasses, see the world that you've been sold. Take the train to old Chicago town, throw your dreams in the lost and found. Breathe deep and stay a while. Yes, I know it's true. Paint the sky blue. Can I sing this song for you? Yes, I know it's true. Broken Avenue. Rock and roll died for you. Another lousy morning. Another lousy cup of joe. Waitress looks in the mirror as if she's found someone she knows. Like the first chapter of Dime Store novel, where we run these old streets alone. Who's gonna cast the first stone? Yes, I know it's true. Paint the sky blue. Can I sing a song for you? Yes, I know it's true. Broken Avenue. Rock and roll died for you. You know it, but you won't let me hear what you say. I say it when you're not listening to me anyway. We left it in the last place, never failed. Yes, I know it's true. Paint the sky blue. Can I sing a song for you? Yes, I know it's true. Broken Avenue. Rock and roll died for you.
All right, we're here with River Ghost Revue. Guys, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So just to get started, how does it feel to be back playing live music for a crowd again?
Yeah, no, it's, we actually just played our first show back, I think, about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we we were still getting together periodically through the winter just to kind of not get too rusty. But yeah, it was definitely nice to be back. And kind of
a year?
Yeah, I think it was about exactly a year.
Almost exactly a year.
So yeah, it was great. I mean, I think the show went well on its own, but yeah, it was a little bit of an extra special show just because we hadn't done it in so long. So, people that have seen us several times, I think people were more excited about that one too, just because it'd been a while since we played. So that made it a little more momentous.
How did you guys originally get together?
You want to start that?
Yeah, it just happened kind of gradually, really. It started with myself and then another guy who used to play with
Nick's
us.
the new guy.
I am.
He feels like the new young guy. Young gun.
The new old.
Yeah, I'm always watching him.
So it was just, it was like we had all played in rock bands for a long time, and so, but we're fans of roots music and acoustic music, so I know that I just had kind of a list of songs that I always thought, man, if I had a roots group, these would be good to play. So then it kind of just started like that. It was like, oh, hey, that would be kind of fun to do something different. Let's play some of these acoustic songs.
And then...
And we've changed personnel.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
lot
been
of times.
several variations, but Joel moved back from Oregon. He started playing. Then Nick came on a couple years after that, and then we just kind of settled in, and we actually got a pretty good response when we played out and kind of gained some traction. So we kind of, it's stuck, and now we've been doing it for the better part of a decade.
Wow. And to be able to find that connection now, what's that feel like?
What, with the three of us? Yeah, we used to have, 5 people or 6?
It's been between 3 and 5, yeah.
Yeah, I like less people. We had 5 or 6 people. It's too crowded for me.
We're pretty moody. So
Yeah,
like
I
the
like-
less people involved,
I like to have
usually
just a
works out
couple
well.
people up here with me, and I don't get as grumpy. So that's good for me. We love this trio.
No, it worked out well because, when Nick started playing with us, we had a lot of the same kind of, we were fans of the same type of music, and so he locked in pretty quick with, I think he got what we were doing and what we were going for and just fit into that really well, so.
Do you guys have a favorite spot to play here in mid-Missouri?
Good question,
Oh,
Noah.
wow.
Very good question. Let's think about that one.
Cooper's Landing's always a favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cooper's is good.
I love Cooper's. There's a bar in Jeff City called Gumbo Bottoms that I'm a really big fan of playing. It's a really small place, but the guy that owns the place, he's been around for a long time, and he's a musician himself, and really tries to take care of folks. It's all about having fun there, so I like that venue quite a bit, even though it's tiny. We're going to be there on September 11th. So.
Yeah, we actually just played a house concert. What was that last 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 Sundays ago, and that was something that we haven't really done. But we got invited to do it with a friend of ours, and it actually went really, really well. People were super receptive, and so we were. We may evaluate some and do some more of those in the future. It was just in a backyard, and it was pretty informal, but it went really well. So any outdoor show that where acoustic music works, usually those turn out to be the best shows. But a lot of times it's about the crowd that's there too, more than just a specific venue. And so that's why that house concert worked out really well. It was just a group of people that were super engaged and were really into what we were doing, and it worked out well.
There's a fire.
Right. Sometimes the more intimate
Fires
that you
help.
get,
Yeah, we had a fire.
the fire
going.
helps.
Fires help. Bodies of
Helps that
water help.
intimacy factor.
Yeah, a little fire.
Yeah.
And having a place like Cooper's that mid-Missouri musicians can go to, just how great is that for people like you to have an outlet for somewhere like that?
It's great because there's really not that many venues. I think even when we started doing this, I think there were a few more options in town. So it's like that number's dwindled a little bit. So we appreciate each and every one of the venues that still have live music on a regular basis because there's just, we're kind of looking at a handful of venues that have it consistently. So yeah, it's huge, and there's still opportunity to go see live music around
And with
town.
Cooper's, it's outdoors. So
Right.
with COVID, people will come out there regardless because you can spread out. So that's nice.
Yeah. So it's like we appreciate any of the venues where you can consistently still see live music, and yeah, unfortunately, there's not more of them. But luckily, we still have some really good ones around town. So there's still some good options like Cooper's Landing.
How would you all describe your music?
Yeah, you guys feel that one.
What is that called?
I guess I always think of it as sort of like a American traditional kind of music. But there's, I don't know. There's even elements of all kinds of things in it. There's elements of punk rock even.
Yeah.
But I guess I would say maybe like American traditional, like folk music kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind
Kind of what we try to capture the spirit of.
Yeah, I like
Just
that.
things for, simple folks, simple songs for simple folks.
And it's good acoustic. We don't have to plug in, and that's kind of the key with our thing is like we don't necessarily want to have like a whole bunch of amps up here. We want it to be acoustic. So
It's always hard to like pinpoint a specific genre, I think, and for musicians, they don't want to be pigeonholed into maybe one genre or another. But yeah, so we like to use the tagline "hard-hitting songs for hard-hit people," and we think that kind of captures it.
Don't go near them well, boy, the water is deep and cold. Don't go near that well, boy, the water is deep and cold. Your mama died in the very well when you were 3 years is deep and cold. Up. Come and sit on my knee, boy, let me sing a song or two. Come and sit on my knee, boy, let me sing a song or two. It's a cruel world outside of here, but we'll make it through. Come and sit on my knee, boy, let me sing a song or two. Up. Here we go. They want my boy to fight in the war. What am I gonna do? They want my boy to fight in the war. What am I gonna do? Well, he left town this morning with his rifle looking blue. They want my boy to fight in the war. What am I gonna do? Up.
Do y'all remember a specific show for this trio where you all just looked at each other after and it just clicked?
That'd be that house concert.
Matter of fact, just a couple,
yeah, we
a
just
couple
did
weeks
that house
ago was-
concert, and like at the end, we all just like, man, that was so much fun. So we're looking to get those people to do that again this fall, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, again, it's
But that
just
was
like,
good. That was fun.
yeah, it's just like I think we get locked in when a show's going well. So it's like we can competently make it through a set at any time. But I think those extra special shows are when you're actually getting something back from the audience and we're having a good time. And then, we loosen up on stage and we kind of get locked in. And yeah, that was the most recent example was just a couple of weeks ago at that. And again, we haven't played any, we're just kind of getting back in the swing of things. So it was good to kind of capture that feeling at that show.
And as musicians, as artists, to have that relationship with the audience and be able to feed off of them, what's it like to have that back?
It can make or break it, honestly. If you're playing and you're not getting any response or no one's there, it's kind of like, might as well be practicing. So, yeah, it's really, it's kind of a 50-50, If you're playing well, you want the audience to be enjoying it. And if they're giving back, you're just kind of at an equilibrium, with that.
Absolutely. I think for me, the pandemic was something of a kind of welcome break. Maybe for a lot of folks, it was that I was playing a lot before that happened, and at first it was a welcome break, and I guess I didn't really realize how much I missed that connection until getting back out and finding it again. And so it was really something special for me, lately. So
Yeah, I agree. Audience is everything.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of cliched, but it's really not the quantity of people there.
Yeah, look how special we got. You all are so,
right.
you're so special.
This beats a recording studio any day where there's just one guy looking at you and saying,
Yeah, if you get a handful of people that are really
but even
responding.
if there's just a few people there that are
If you
into
get
what
a
you're
handful
doing.
of people responding to what you're doing and kind of tapping into that, that makes a huge difference. And I think that's, again, when we kind of kick it into the next gear and feel like it's a really successful show.
Where do you all see the future of the mid-Missouri music scene going?
That's difficult.
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, I think, there's definitely people out there doing it. I wouldn't really call it it's not really a unified scene, so to speak, other than there have, unfortunately, like I said, been kind of a dwindling number of venues, but I think there's still good venues to play consistently at. So I think that helps kind of keep things going. And it's like when we get an idea for a show, we usually can think of a specific venue where hey, this type of show would work really well. We've had success at Rose Music Hall. We've done some shows where we'll play a full album that we love. And it's not, we always want to make the distinction that it's not a tribute show. It's more like us interpreting a single body of work, in a specific album. So it's like those kind of shows work really well at Rose. We've done 3 of them to date, I think. So, there's enough of a scene that, like I said, there's options, and we can usually kind of mix and match and figure out, hey, what type of show would work well here.
And everybody before COVID, that we've played with over the years, we're all back, so that even with COVID, it's not going to stop us from getting back playing music in town like all of us bands that have been doing it for the last 10 years.
For a long time.
No, that's true. Yeah, since we've played a handful of shows, I've been running into various people that we know from musician circles.
That's like a Tom Petty song, I Won't Back Down. Right? Like the
could be,
the local
yeah.
bands won't back down.
Oh, right.
It could be, yeah.
There's
But
also
anyway.
there's some cool DIY spaces now too that a lot of younger folks are doing some things with DIY space. One of my favorite places is called PDM in town, and it's just a bunch of kids that are into punk rock and heavy metal, and even if you're not into that kind of music. Well, I am into that kind of music, but if you're not, even it's pretty impressive that these kids have just created their own venue, and they have shows, and they have out of town bands come and play with them, and it's just the energy is just fantastic, and it's always packed and full of sweaty kids. It's it's kind of why.
And it's on Business Loop.
It is on this.
Yeah, I love
And you kind of get, it's kind of why you get into this, So.
No, and that's a cool complementary venue that complements what's already out there.
What's
so
already
again,
out
yeah,
there,
if you have
right.
if you have a type of show that's another option. It's like, okay, you can go the DIY route.
Right.
And that's great. And it's similar to what we did with the house concert.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I like that. Good
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
One, two, three, four. My brother left word before me. Comes and visits mother and I. Stands outside the bedroom window. Says that everything will be alright. The hills get high and the wind gets lonesome. I stay away, week past. For I know last breath comes dear, but be in heaven together at last. I hold my breath, wait for the moment when the water washes over me. For I know my Lord and Savior will break these chains and set me free. Let's go. Dig a hole.